So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're going to take a quick look at yet another Tenet weapon, and this time around it is going to be the Tenet Tetra. Now since this is a Tenet weapon, the only way to get it is by defeating a sister of Parvos that's wielding the Tenet Tetra, and I already made a full video on how to deal with the sisters of Parvos and how to engage with that whole system, so I'm simply going to leave a link to that video in the video description. The Tenet Tetra is a Mastery Rank 16 fully automatic primary rifle that does 60 damage per shot, 33.6 out of which is puncture and then 13.2 as both impact and slash. It comes with a pretty solid 28% crit chance and above average 2.2 times crit multiplier, somewhat low fire rate of 5, an 80 round magazine with a 2.2 second reload and 30% status. However, unlike the other Tetras, this one also comes with a semi-automatic mode that has the same supporting stats, but it instead fires a big explosive ball that does 200 impact damage on, well, impact and then 1000 blast damage in an area of 8 meters with 60% fall off. Now the full auto mode is fairly similar to the standard Tetra and the Prisma Tetra. Where it differs is of course going to be that semi-automatic mode, which is new here. The first thing you're going to notice is that you will most likely reload when you switch to it, and there is a reason for that. Firing the semi-auto mode consumes 80 rounds of ammunition. And this is important, it doesn't consume your entire magazine, it consumes 80 rounds of ammo, which just happens to be your entire magazine. Now why do I say this? Well, because I, like probably many of you, had this cheeky thought of getting a ribbon that would reduce my magazine size, therefore reducing the amount of ammo that I use with the semi-auto mode. Except that if you do push your ammo below 80, you can't fire the semi-auto, so that unfortunately doesn't work. And finally, since this is a Tenet weapon, you do get more capacity on it, and you also extract more mastery from it as you put on more and more Forma up to a maximum of 5. So if you want to get the absolute maximum out of the Tenet Tetra in terms of capacity, mastery, and also unlock the ability to install a lens, you're gonna have to put on 5 Forma. But that is honestly a bit of an overkill. You can easily get a full build on the Tenet Tetra with 2 Forma if you don't care about the Exiles, 3 if you do care about the Exiles, and 4 if you want to use galvanized mods as well. And I personally ended up settling down on 3, which were 2 Vs, and then I also changed the V in the Exiles into a dash. And it's pretty much what you would expect. We have Serration for damage, split chamber or galvanized chamber for multi-shot, point strike for crit chance, argon scope or galvanized scope for even more crit on a headshot. Then we have vital sense for crit damage, kinetic ricochet if you want to use the full auto mode so that the shots bounce and fly further, or ammo mutation, whether that is ammo mutation or vigilante supplies if you want to use the semi-auto mode. Then hunter munition so that 30% of the time when we crit we get a slash proc, and we top it off with malignant force and rhyme rounds for viral and status. Also, if you have any of the primary arcanes, just put them on. They add a lot of damage. Now, the actual damage this can do is kind of nuts. For both the semi-auto and the full auto mode, the semi-auto is just great for AoE, and every now and then you will leave behind a slash proc with hunter munitions as well, but the primary fire actually has some really solid DPS. It is surprising how much damage you can actually do with this. It's not super reliable versus the Corpus because of their shield gating, but that's the case with all explosive weapons because the AoE combined with the fall off means that you don't always push enough damage through their shields to actually kill them. But that is once again not the biggest problem in the world because the primary fire can mop up any stragglers because we're using a great combination of elements. Viral and slash, and in my case heat because I got that as a bonus from the Progenitor Warframe, are pretty great against all factions. And finally we have the Infested, which, yeah, they don't like this weapon very much. They just kind of die, and it doesn't matter which fire mode you're using, honestly. So there we go, the Tenet Tetra is actually really good. I know a lot of people are focusing on the semi-auto mode because it's kind of new and it's a big boom, but the primary fire or the full auto mode is really good as well. It is some seriously good DPS. It is not perfect though. The fire rate on the full auto mode is pretty low, and the projectile speed on the full auto mode isn't great either. The projectiles are actually fairly slow. And the semi-auto mode, I like it, but I don't at the same time. I like what it does, right? It's a big boom, and I like me a big boom, but the way it works is just clumsy. Right? First of all, it consumes 80 rounds per shot, so you're gonna be dry in no time, and you have to run some kind of ammo mutation if you want to use it. And you will oftentimes have to reload into it as well, right? Even if you fire 1 round with the full auto, you then have to reload to be able to fire the big boom. And honestly, I would much prefer it if it was something that you can do on the fly. So instead of pressing a button, then oftentimes reloading and then pressing another button to fire it out and then pressing the button again to switch back, it would just be something you press and it happens. So yeah, Tenet Tetra definitely has some good, it has a lot of good, but there is also some bad. But I would still recommend you give it a shot, especially if you think that it looks cool. And that is pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed it and found it helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.